Why, hello there, and welcome back to the City of Mist. We're going to be starting with a pulse-pounding scene of a conversation in a coffee shop. I am returned
Hello?
Welcome back.
from the void. It was cold, but it's now slightly less cold. So yes, Moira, Kevin, two of y'all just kind of sitting there. I mentioned that he basically prepped his coffee, and I indeed am doubling down on what I said last week. He's not eating a bagel. I said donut. He's eating a donut, and apparently it's got cream cheese on it. He's just going at it. No one questions it.
Is that what he normally orders?
Apparently, yes.
Man, just typical.
This guy. Alrighty, so, Moira, whatever questions you have for this lad, you know he won't be here for very long, but you're starting off on a positive foot.
I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to start asking him like stuff about his campaign that he's been doing. So I'm going to like create a rapport, so that he thinks I'm like interested in his political campaign.
Okay. I assume they're all fairly softball questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could inquire also to see what he is planning on doing or how he's going to help the communities affected by these random fires. What he will be doing amongst his campaigning to help.
I do think at some point,
At some point, maybe lead into inquiring
I'll
how the
mention-
investigation and stuff is going on towards those.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're starting off on a good foot, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. For the softball questions, though, he answers them just as he would normally. Not really too big of a deal. He seems like he's incredibly rehearsed on all these. You've heard all these answers before, Moira. It's essentially just a courtesy. Would you follow it up with the fire question?
Yeah, I guess if it makes sense to ask about the suspicious fires going on, like maybe start off by saying like, oh, like what do you think about these current events going on? Like, are you planning on doing anything to help with it?
Oh, yeah, because his buildings were firebombed.
Yeah.
He should have something to say about it.
So he answers this question just the same as the others, fairly quickly, fairly softball. He pauses for a moment, maybe wasn't expecting this to be the next question, but at the same time, it's as you just said, it's one of his buildings, so it's a pretty common ongoing. You do notice, Moira, as he's answering them, this is his stock answer.
I'm going to ask if he thinks it has anything to do with his campaign in particular.
That one definitely catches him off guard a little. He looks at you and pauses, taking a bite into his donut. And he says, well, what do you mean by that precisely with my campaign? I believe it was a random, at least to my knowledge.
Well, I guess I would point out that they're related to him in, like it's their own way or whatever. And as a political figure, there must be people who are, might not want him to, succeed at his campaign. Or if I don't know, if thinks he might ever be in danger, or I don't know.
I honestly feel quite safe. My security team is doing a, honestly, awesome job, in my opinion, at least.
Does that mean that you feel you need a security team?
To a degree. Now, they haven't really been quite as active recently, which is honestly a good thing.
So it's unrelated to the...
I would say unrelated. No one was in the building at the time, fortunately. I believe no one was hurt. So yes, it might have been an opponent. It is my guess. I might have answered this once or twice before. But yes, it is indeed my guess that they intentionally targeted it at that time, knowing that there would be no casualties. But at the same time, maybe send me a nasty message, but I will be persuaded. So, sticking to my path.
I guess on that note, I'll ask him about his son, who is now in high school, right?
Yes.
And I'll be like, oh, do you think he has any plans to follow in your footsteps, or that kind of stuff?
Not many people ask me about Owen, but I think he's still trying to find his place in the world. So I don't want to say yes. It's not mine to push the boy in that direction necessarily. We need to find what he's good at precisely, but I will say I will not allow him to be mediocre, and he knows this.
You will not allow him to be mediocre?
I can't have a lazy son. From what I've seen, he is an overachiever already, so I have nothing to worry about. He shares my sentiments.
That he cannot be an overachiever. That he cannot be an underachiever.
Correct.
But what if that stress got to him and he did something that'll get you in trouble? Not that wording.
You can ask that degree, though. The wording doesn't be precisely that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would ask that. Do we have any idea of his... Who is it that we've been talking to? It was Owen, wasn't it?
Owen and... I'm looking for his name.
So, guys.
It was the other one
Spencer?
that my girl's been talking to.
Spencer, correct.
Yeah, Spencer.
But what have we heard about Owen? Because Spencer was the one that was like...
He's the one who's
kind of traumatized.
And
Owen
yeah.
was like the ringleader, right?
Yeah. I wrote down he's upset that his plaything is gone.
Right. And his what are his activities in school at a game that we have gathered from
I think what last
our
we discussed
research?
it, sports in like for his main after school activity, he's always involved in some sort of sport.
I
And
think
his grades are good, but not top.
I also wrote down he's the center of attention.
I guess I'll keep asking him about Owen's like school career and like maybe start talking about like his group of friends and like
Ooh, that's sneaky.
Sure, this is a different,
like
very...
if they also help him like rise above, something that gets him talking about Owen without seeming like it's a really sharp turn in the conversation.
Yeah, so this is a very different avenue, obviously. Go ahead and roll me convince again.
Okay.
Don't give the jingle before you roll.
Oh, I was just thinking that. Oh God.
Alrighty, as you pry into this, he doesn't push back at all. He does seem like he's almost done, though. And as you ask about his son, you don't necessarily learn too much more, but you get the feeling that Kevin's keeping a really, really solid eye on Owen. And in terms of his friends, he hangs out with good kids from what I've seen. Most of them are part of the whatever current sport's running. I tend to lose track. They're always rotating from this and that. But for the most part, he seems to trust whatever his son is doing. And if you're worried that maybe if he hangs out with the wrong crowd, that would draw negative attention to Kevin, that isn't necessarily something that he feels he needs to worry about because Owen's a good kid.
So he's a good kid.
Oh dear. Does he seem genuine? Like he actually doesn't know?
Yeah.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, but he had to have covered it up, though, is the thing. Somebody had to cover up Aaron Albright's murder and his part in it. And I don't think there's any way that his dad would not have known.
It might not have been dad, though. It could have been one of the other fathers.
I just don't know if that's... Is that like the vibe I get? Can I do a vibe check?
That's definitely a weird one. You're not entirely sure, but something tells you deep down, Moira, that maybe he knew... obviously, this is effectively on the line of mind reading, especially for people that aren't even here. But with the way he answers this, you very much get a feeling with this answer, plus everything he has said prior, that he just kind of has a control on everything in his life.
Helicopter parent style?
Helicopter everything. So his campaign, the people he works for, everything around him, he is in control of it. Everything is perfectly fine. Basically, don't worry about it. If there is something to worry about, let me shoulder that burden. I'll get it taken care of. Which could lead to precisely what you're thinking, him covering something up. So you don't know if he directly knows about it or if he has someone that does it for him, but something deep down tells you that he is somehow involved.
I think I would like to further that line of questioning just a little bit.
Okay, he's effectively done and getting ready to leave, so what's the last thing you want to kind of ask him?
Hit him where it hurts.
Well, now I don't know if it's the right question. I was going to ask him like a little more directly about that incident that happened in Owen's school with that other student that was in the same grade.
You want to ask that? You definitely can. That will be effectively your last question, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a prying question.
Yes. So dealing with all that, he is just about finished up. You can tell he's not going to finish his coffee here. He'll most likely be taking it for the road. And then you bring that up, and it gives him pause for a moment as he takes a second to think. He says, which incident do you mean precisely? To my knowledge, there isn't really too much drama surrounding the school.
I come around and say, "Oh, the murder of Aaron Albright. I heard that they were in the same grade. Isn't that right?
They were. The term murder is quite interesting, though.
Oh, isn't that what it was in the police report?
Not to my knowledge. If there was a murder at their school, I'm pretty sure I'd know more about it.
Interesting. Not entirely sure where I got that idea. I must have misread it.
He nods along. Like, all right. Well, I believe there was a death. Yes. To my knowledge, it was an accident.
Out of game again.
Yeah.
Did it say that it was a suicide? What did that? I can't remember quite what the
paper didn't
fake
say.
Police report said.
It didn't say suicide. It just said accident.
But we do know that he was like burned, right?
There were definitely a multitude of things in terms of like old scars and bruises and such. But they attributed the whole incident itself just to an accident, and they didn't bother looking into anything prior to that.
But it said so it didn't say anything about being burned.
No burns.
I guess I can tell he's done though, right?
Oh yeah. This last question doesn't necessarily put him on edge, but he's giving you an expression as if to say, very interesting. I wasn't expecting you to go this route. I'm not sure I've had someone ask me this in quite some time. There weren't allegations prior to this, but there were a hoopla of like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? You know, are you looking into it? You know, how do we, protect our students, et cetera, et cetera. So he hasn't heard about this in a while, but you bringing it up definitely kind of gives the feeling of, okay, I don't know why you're bringing this up, but interesting.
But he's not worried, clearly.
No, doesn't seem to be worried. Intrigued that you're bringing it up, but not angry.
Well, I thank him for his time very profusely.
Of course. So with all that, he is very clearly finished. He wipes his hands, gives you a quick nod, and says, well, it was an absolute pleasure meeting you today. Moira, it was, yes?
Yes. Moira Dean. I hand him my stock card.
Ah, perfect. Very nice card you have there. He shoves it in his pocket. After he gets everything wrapped up, he kind of folds a napkin, stuffs it into his other pocket, and he says, well, I've got a busy day ahead of me, so if you do not mind, I'll be taking my leave now.
No problem at all. Thanks so much.
All right, hoping to see you on the campaign trail very soon. He smiles, whips around, and heads on out after a few people are like, oh, Kevin, hello, Mr. Cardwell. And he's like, good morning, and he walks on out.
I let everybody know what we talked about. I was kind of suspicious, but not really, because he's really good at lying. I can just tell.
Yes. So it's still very early in the morning. You guys have the whole day up ahead of you. And while all this is happening, Xander, you're actually going to get first a text with a follow-up of like, hey, we got information, bud, and it's not good news. When you get a moment, let us know.
This is from who?
This is from, the team that came in from your father?
Mm-hmm.
It's from one of the team leads.
I'll call him.
As you call him up real quick, he answers pretty quick. And he goes, oi, Xander?
Yeah, well, what's the problem?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure how this happened. I'm just going to come straight out with it and let you know. We're looking back to the first tower that your group was able to procure, clear, what have you. Well, there seems to be a bit of a complication with it. We're not entirely sure what exactly caused it, but it seems all the hard work we put in seems to have been undone. The second one seems fine. Third, fourth are, it's swimming away. We know how to take care of them, of course, but it's strange. It looks entirely like it was, the way you described it when you first found it.
So you're saying that everything we did is gone?
Correct, yeah. It looks like all the walls and such are back. Where, we don't need you, fortunately, Xander. We can get right back on it. You showed us exactly how to take care of it, but it's concerning, to say the least. It looks like, at least from this angle and from, pictures we've taken in sketches and such, these are the exact same rooms that were here when we first got here. Like, in the same position.
Well, that's very odd.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure what to cause it, but I guess keep a lookout.
Well, let me know if any of the other locations do the same thing.
Will do. We're sending a team to look at the second tower today. We'll assume they're most likely going to happen in order. But, if not, we'll let you know. Team's still working on the fourth tower, so we'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
All right, good luck. And they hang up.
Well, that's weird.
That's weird. What I've got is that we have a whole lot of nuts.
Well, I mean, are we gonna all meet up back at my office?
Yeah. I got to talk to everybody about the quote unquote interview.
So the first tower is back to how we found it.
What? How?
My guys are trying to figure out why, but they said it just suddenly went back to normal. I'm not really sure how that happened.
It's not sus at all.
Did any of you guys find leads?
Honestly, I'm pretty sure it was not a really productive station, to be honest. He's definitely got a finger in every pie, though.
I'm going to be honest, at this point, I think we should take a page out of Margot's book.
And who's Margot? You tell us who Margot is.
She's in this horror book that I've been reading. It's really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's great.
R.L. Stein?
Similar.
Well, what's she like? Tell me what you mean by that.
Blunt and straightforward and a little rough. Okay, maybe a lot.
You know what?
But we can tone that down.
You know what? I think I agree.
Oh, the exact opposite of my approaches. Gotcha.
Sounds good.
I mean, he seems very nice. I don't think he's going to... I mean, he might just give up the info if we ask nicely. We could try the Radia way first. I mean, you did build rapport with him. All right, well, let's go try.
Alrighty, as your group gathers up together, they head on over to the district where we know Gale tends to frequent. I guess time-wise, are we going for morning or later?
This is an important decision. Do we know if he's a morning or an afternoon person?
So far, you're not sure. You guys have only spoken to him in the morning and midday.
Let's go morning.
Perfect. You swing by. Timeless Records, he is not there, but he is indeed in his coffee shop. Things seem to be open, and he's just working away. He seems to be the only one here working.
I'm surprised he's not busy in the morning at a coffee shop.
Busy enough, especially for one person.
All right, who wants to take the lead? I'm not good at this. Shoo or die. I choose you. Like real yo, Gale. We got some hard questions here. Please help us save lives.
You'll have to do the hard asking. I'll give you the opening.
Okay. I can be the tactless college student.
Yes.
All right, so your group all heads in together.
I mean, what do we think?
Yeah, I think we can.
Oh, okay.
It will emphasize the importance and the weight of these questions.
Alrighty, as you all walk in, we'll say Radia is in the lead, so he'll recognize her first. Looking past her, he'll see the rest of you. He gives you all a wave as he's finishing up with a customer right now.
I wave back.
I will too.
After he finishes up, he turns to look at you all. And of course, there are plenty of seats. You can sit at the counter and any of the tables, entirely up to you. And looking to you all, he says, "Well, good morning to you all. How are we all doing?"
I'm doing quite well. I think the other guys could still be a little tired.
Can we have a moment of your time?
Of course. It's what I'm here for. What can I do for you?
Well, I think this question would be better, not with so many eyes and ears around.
A sensitive topic?
Very. I can have my brother watch the counter for you.
He nods and, looks over your shoulder and looks to Xander as to say, "That is your brother?" Or
Jasper will creep out from behind my shoulder.
He doesn't seem to react to that. And looking around, says, "Give me but a moment." He finishes cleaning up some things really quick, and after making himself a quick cup, he motions for you guys to come on over. There seems to be like a back nook, also for reading, but currently there is no one seated here. From this angle, he has a perfect view of the door and of the counter, so he can see if there's any new customers. He motions for you all to take a seat, and then does so himself. So, what is this burning question you have for me?
We asked about Reginald already, right?
I think so.
Meanwhile, I just busy while you guys discuss your coming together, what your thoughts were with the questions, and busy with some minor small talk.
Okay, you just bring him some pretty normal topics, and he pauses for a moment before answering them, expecting to be hit by something fairly hard, and plenty of softball questions, so he shrugs, is not terribly busy at the moment, and he just starts chit-chatting with Radia.
Jasper also has a winning smile, so there will be no complaints at the counter. I don't think we did. Well, hang on. No, I have no Reginald? ?
I mean, if that's your question, just ask it.
Yeah, I will, in the appropriate pause point, I will say, we need to know what you know about Reginald.
He takes a second to finish what he's saying. Then he turns to Roxanne and says, sorry, who? Reginald?
Reginald Albright. Did I have a picture of him?
Yes, you do.
I'll show the picture.
It's mostly marketing material, but he looks up and down and says, well, I'm not currently looking for a psychiatrist. Do you know the man or friend of yours?
His son died.
No, I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
As am I. He wants revenge. Deservedly, of course, but he's going to hurt a lot of people in the process.
Slowly nods.
The ambrosia we asked you about that was available at the auction. You and 3 other people have all been in contact. We're there to purchase it for someone else. We believe that to be Reginald.
You're very hung up about this auction.
Well, it's the point that everyone has in common. Though the auction itself isn't the important bit.
He takes another sip as he's nodding along. I assume you were all there at this auction?
That's right.
And I believe Xander said you saw me there, yes?
I believe he sat right beside you.
May I ask you, Roxanne, what do you think I have to do with all this? You said this is a very important question. What is the question precisely?
We need to know what you know.
About this, Reginald?
Yeah, or the auction. Why did you go there? If you're not a gambling man, being at that auction seems a bit odd.
He looks over your shoulder at the customers, then looks back to you. Well, I guess I can say I wasn't entirely honest when we first spoke, but you'll have to understand, I didn't know who you all were. I trust you a little more now, though. And yes, I was indeed at that auction, at the request of an individual. I do not know who this person is, though. They, well, promised they could help with my problem. Unfortunately, I failed in that avenue, so here we are.
Is your problem your partner or something else?
He nods.
I had a friend look into your problem. We could maybe help, but he said the outlook's not so great.
He nods again at this and kind of gives you a look as if to say, why are you looking into my business? He doesn't look angry, just very confused. All right. What do you stand to benefit from assisting me?
You mean if we're expecting to extort you for something? Absolutely nothing. We just want to help keep the streets safe from things that might not be as on the level as it should.
That's the overall goal. For my part, I've lost a loved one. I will motion over to Jasper, so I know what that feels like.
Nods along. Well, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm getting the feeling there's something the 4 of you are not telling me. Something deeper connecting all this. If you truly want my help, you're going to need to tell me the truth.
I say we just tell him, because a good investigator knows when to release information.
Sure. Like my ghost brother wasn't enough of a hint. I'll lower my sunglasses. We're special.
He nods at that. Remember, your brother's just a person. There's no ghost. There's no shadow. There's
right.
People will just forget him tomorrow if they don't, if they're not touched.
Yeah, that's fair.
So he nods at that and says, by special, what do you mean precisely?
Well, I control shadows. And if our guess is right, Reginald approached you, you're special too.
Magic, then, we're talking.
Essentially. I don't deal with magic, though. That's more Xander and Rodias' thing.
He turns to the 2 of you.
And then I say, yeah, I'm not really either of those things, but sort of.
You'll have to forgive me, but besides glowing eyes, what else can you do? This is an odd request. You have to, I guess, see things from my perspective. This is quite strange.
Can I take one of the nearby shadows that's caused, I don't know, by like napkin holder or something and make it dance?
Nope, this is my fellow coffee person. Let me try something.
Okay.
I tap on my brooch and hold out my hand, a little flash of light, and a tiny, to those who would not otherwise see it, would be a tiny little lizard. To those of you around me who know what it is, will see a tiny little dragon.
Cute.
And I look at Mr. Highland and like, what do you see in my hand?
He smirks and looks towards you, Rodiah. He looks at the dragon, looks back to you, and then looks over your shoulder again, Roxanne, at your brother. Says, I see. So you're all gifted individuals then.
That's right.
Well, I guess the cat
Wait.
is indeed out of the bag. Yes?
So he did see the dragon?
Yes. This is not a standard topic one brings up. I guess I'm not in circles of those that are gifted. I'll be honest,
I
you
mean,
four...
we're not that common.
No, you indeed are not. You four are probably some of the first I've ever spoken with. Besides, yes, I do indeed know Reginald. He and I spoke.
And?
And he assisted me with something. He turns a little and reaches behind his back and pulls out a dagger. It looks old and weathered with time. You can see that there is the handle itself. Looks like it's clear or made of glass, and there's like a channel running through it. And he holds it up and then puts it back behind himself and says, "This is my gift, I guess. Reginald is to assist me with it."
Would any of us know what that is? It almost feels like it's up Xander's alley.
On first blush, you're honestly not sure. It's definitely unique looking, though.
Oh, what is that?
Wait, what was it?
Like a dagger?
Yeah, it's like an old weathered dagger. And not a dagger as in like something used for war. When I say old and weathered, I mean like ancient, like thousands of years old.
Can I do the clairvoyance thing?
Yeah, sure. Roll me investigate with that. Are you trying to like see into his mind, kind of like what it is?
Yeah.
While you're doing that, he looks to all of you and basically says, "This little gift of mine, somewhat useful, but limited, of course. Reginald promised, if we trade services, technically, that he will eventually allow me to acquire enough power that I can accomplish my goal with this, so I should not need outside help. He himself cannot assist me, unfortunately."
Yeah, there's a reason for that. The last three people we spoke to that he was going to help turned into raging monsters.
Oh. All right, excellent. With an 8, you're basically trying to like see what it does, what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. While you're focusing on Gale and the weapon behind his back, it seemingly vanishes when he puts it back there, but you do know for a fact that it's still there. You're not sure if you can access it, but you get the feeling that he always has access to it. It is most likely intrinsically tied to him as a person, much like most of these relics are.
God.
Yes.
Can I sense if it has death cooties on it?
What do you mean by death cooties?
You know, as in it was used to kill.
Well, it is a dagger.
Yeah, thousands of years old.
I won't have you roll. No death cooties. At least
For real?
not the ones you're looking for now.
Interesting.
You mean like not death cooties, meaning ones that were the result of like evil?
More so if it were used as a weapon. And
To
if
hurt
there's
somebody.
Yeah.
Not to like as defense.
As defense, yeah. More so either killing innocents or used in a malicious way. But as you gaze upon it, Roxanne, you can determine no. And as you gaze upon it, Moira, he's continuing the conversation with Radiah, Xander, and Roxanne. You sense something deep in this dagger. And after you focus on it for a few moments, you do believe that he was indeed telling the truth. What this thing can do is quite unique. It's hard to lock on precisely what you want to see, mainly because the image is repeating itself, Moira, over and over and over, as if it's in a loop of time. But after you focus a moment on this thing and what it's capable of, you realize that he has been, not too frequently, but at one point, he attempted to use this thing to rewind to time locally.
Oh.
And you're just seeing a time loop over and over and over. He tried using it to heal, it did not work. And this is a past usage. You can tell now, though.
No. Is this a Prince of Persia reference?
Maybe.
Dance of time. Don't expose him like that.
It's there to be exposed.
It's one of my favorite games.
But yes, this is indeed the Dagger of Time. As you're looking upon it.
Wait, for real?
Yes.
He's not possessed by the Tahaka, is he?
No, that's technically separate. It's a whole other thing.
Okay, that would be just like you to use that on me.
I would never.
Lies.
But you do get the feeling that, yes, this thing can somehow control time. And if Reginald assisted him in the way that he's been assisting everybody else, it's probably much more potent now.
I suppose that could work if he could rewind far enough that a cure would work. but there's no way it'll go back far enough. Also, we know how terribly wrong that went when it was screwed with too much.
Indeed. So looking at you all now, everything assumably on the table, he essentially asks, what do you want me to do precisely? I've sensed no ill will from Reginald, so what are we doing? Why are you asking me? I understand that, obviously the three prior, but am I doing this? Have I done something?
Can we ask him the standard questions? Because Mario sensed something coming around him, right?
Yes.
Watching him. Can we ask that?
You kind of run down the list of what happened to other people. Marvin did think he was being followed, things of that nature. Obviously, James would lose track of time. As Gale is thinking, though, legitimately, truthfully, none of these seem like they're happening to him. And he says, well, I'm assuming these occurrences were frequent with the other individuals you spoke with.
Well, Marvin mentioned it a lot. James didn't.
Wait, so is his power just having this dagger?
Essentially, yeah. But from what he says, basically he doesn't recall any of these things happening to him. But they do sound quite horrible. He does have your guys' contact information, so of course he can contact you if anything does happen.
You know what? Can I ask my secret sponsor if he would be willing to work with Gale to make sure the knife works properly? And if I can give him the contact info?
Yeah, now that you know more about what it is, you can definitely ask your sponsor and see if you can get a little assistance, yeah.
All right. And then my next question would be, are you able to get in touch with Reginald again? And will you share it with us?
I'll be honest, and I'll expect you to do the same. Have you seen Reginald, this Mr. Albright, do anything, personally, that needs stopping?
Well, there's 4 giant towers filled with magic symbols that can't be good.
As you mention this, he pauses drinking his coffee, and then puts it down, looks at you, and says, oh, truly.
Truly.
Odd. Do you know their purpose? Are they even connected to him at all?
The tower is his territory. He asked this third guy to guard it, so...
He's nodding along, as if it's new information. Okay.
Also, you said it was Xander's cleaning it up, but apparently one of them came back overnight.
That sounds quite frustrating.
Dangerous, more like.
Indeed. Do you know the purpose of these towers? Do they seem malicious in any way, shape, or form?
Unknown.
Do you have a way of determining this?
I'll look at Xander.
He said they're basically a summoning circle, and yeah, they're bad.
Yeah.
Not literally a circle, but yeah, same idea. I assume you'd share that with Gale?
Yeah.
Okay. He thinks that one through a bit, nods along, just kind of sipping at his coffee. Well, to my knowledge, Mr. Albright is very difficult to get a hand on. From what I've seen, I don't know his goal, if I'm being entirely honest. All I know is he said he could help me, and in return, I could help him. You're saying I should cease helping him? Find a way to connect you to him?
Yes, please.
I can look out for you, sure. I've not seen the man do anything ill-fated. But if you believe that his current path is a road to damnation, then yes, next time I get the ability to speak with him, I'll do so. I'll find a way to make it work.
All right, just don't put yourself in too much danger.
I'll be safe, don't you worry.
We just, we won't lie. Some of these people he's going to take revenge on definitely deserve it, but a couple of them don't. In fact, one of them really needs therapy.
Yeah, he nods along at that as if to say, yeah, this is more complicated than I was expecting. Well, if that's all, I do have to run my shop for another few more hours. I assume we're not here for food or drink, just to ask questions.
What kind of food does he have?
Just like pastries and such.
I'm always down for pastries.
Yeah, I'll take a pastry since we're here. I don't need to go to class for another few hours.
Perfect. He smiles at that, gets up, whips himself behind the counter, and if you guys has any general orders, he'll go ahead and take them real quick.
You got chocolate croissants, bro?
Of course. And while he's chit-chatting with you all and preparing various orders, he laughs to himself a little and looks to your group. And he digs into his pocket for a second, pulls out his phone. He says, I have a quick question that's less on the emergency scale, if you don't mind answering.
Sure.
While I do love this thing, and he motions to his phone, the audio quality isn't necessarily where I need it to be. The music I tend to listen to, and you guys can hear it's been running in the background for the entire time you've all been here. very similar to the music that's played at Timeless Records. He does indeed have a record player in the back corner of the room. Obviously, I cannot get the same depth of sound with my phone here. Is there... I guess. When I say dance music, I don't necessarily mean club with lights and such. More my time, if that makes any sense. If any of you are aware of any dance music that would sound good on a device like these, I have a huge, of course, platform to choose from here, locally. But when I'm on the go, this doesn't exactly do it. Weird request, I know.
Do you
Something-
mean like music that would sound good on a phone?
Precisely, yes. Sorry, I'm... It's an odd question to ask.
My brother will have some recommendations.
Sure, does he just start, listing them off?
Yes.
Okay. Is a bit surprised at that, and he'll jump a bit forgetting Jasper was there, and he goes, oh, okay, well, give me a moment, and he pulls out a pen and starts writing it down on a napkin. He's nodding along. I'll just say, okay, excellent. And you obviously have his contact info. So he folds that napkin, puts it in his breast pocket, nods and says, thank you, good sir. I greatly appreciate it. Silly request, I know, but...
There are no silly requests.
Well, it's for a good cause. I appreciate it.
I'm sure my sponsor will be very interested in this deck.
Indeed, it is quite unique. From what you could tell, Moira, when you sensed it, its powers are limited. But if it has the same effect at all as the others that Albright messed with, it's going to be potentially problematic if he cannot control it. But he doesn't seem like someone that would necessarily abuse such a power.
Well, that's good at least.
If you don't have any more questions for him, realistically, he'll get back to work, and he's given everybody coffee and whatever crumpets you requested.
Yeah, I think we're good. Did the second tower do what the first one did? Xander should know by now, right?
So far, it's still inactive.
What was the timing between when it got erased to when it came back?
It was 3 days.
Is the second tower nearing that or past it?
Yep, should be soon.
I would like to go there and wait.
Sure thing.
I want to see it happen. Maybe die in the process because of somebody in a circle just magic.
I kind of
Excellent.
want to see it too.
Alrighty, as the four of you head
Don't
out,
at the tower.
do we all just go to the tower?
To the tower.
All right, everyone goes to the tower.
I need to make a detour to get my laptop so that I
we're
can
going to
do
the
my
tower.
schoolwork while we wait.
No laptop.
Yes, laptop.
All right, your
Internet
crew.
magical interference.
I keep forgetting that you're
Oh, no.
12.
I'm 12!
Look, if you're under 30, you're 12. That's just the rules.
Oh, wait, you're
She's
older than 30?
13 at the most.
No, my brother's 13.
You mean Moira?
Yeah?
Yeah, she's late 30s.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
all right.
old. She's about to croak.
Yeah, she's ancient. Geez.
She looks great for her age.
It's Mothman's influence, undying.
How dare you say 39 is not. Oh, look, I'm only 8 years away from that.
I'm 5 years away from that.
I say we're older than you.
Yeah,
And seriously,
she's no, she's actually 35. So you're in college, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, she's you're a baby. You have no life experience.
I admit. I have more experience than most people my age, though.
Probably true.
Not to Jasper.
And as you guys are discussing all this, we head back to the tower, and we wait some hours as you guys are kind of joking, waiting. Xander's people are already here, so they're double checking it. It seems currently be inactive. So there's actually quite a few people here. We'll say from, I guess, Xander's group, there's about 4 other mages here that are trying to do, what it is they do. They're monitoring. They're away from the location, of course, in case it just suddenly turns on, but they're within, the general area. You got some people on the outside too, looking to see if is it some occurrence from the outside, is it something from above. There not many folk. It's only 4, but now the 4 of you here, it's 8. 9, 8, 7. Roxanne is, half doing homework, or using this as an excuse to not do homework.
No, I'm actually doing homework.
What a good person. Good job. And while you're waiting, nothing happens. But Moira, you receive a call
From who?
from James.
Krat?
Yes, the boy.
What does he say?
Well, he calls you up. It is, we'll say it's about close to dinner time or so, before sundown. And he says, hey, Moira, how you guys all doing?
we're doing good. You know, making headway. How you doing?
Better. Definitely better. Things were a little rough before, as I'm sure you're aware. But I mentioned to you prior that I guess the issue I was having, it's all taken care of. I feel I feel much better
It's all
now.
taken care of?
Yeah, I feel better after you all did what you did.
Oh, I'm really glad to hear that, James.
Yeah, weird conversation, so I don't want to say too much over the phone. Not that it's tapped or anything. But
Well, you never know.
yeah, it's true. That's true. There is something though that was a bit off. I think it just feels
Okay.
weird. There's God, how do I say this? I mentioned that I can't call Mr. Albright, but he contacts us.
Right.
Right. I don't know if he's aware of the situation of the people that he hired in, his own little weird way. But he contacted me asking me, how things were going, and I lied to him, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But something that he's been wanting us to do is to look into Kevin Cardwell, the guy running for mayor.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Apparently, he expected us to actually accomplish this. I don't know if while I was blacked out, if that's what I was doing, and I was giving him information, but I don't have time to I don't even know how I would accomplish that. It's
How you would accomplish.
looking into this guy. I know nothing about him. I don't even live anywhere near him.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he sounded frustrated on the phone that I was no longer feeding him information. So he made it sound like I have been doing this in the past. And, why are you slowing down? Why? So that's somewhat problematic. But he made it sound like he has someone else that's on the job and whatever he's trying to accomplish will be done soon. His tone weirded me out. So I just thought I'd call you.
All right. You said you get the feeling that whatever he's trying to accomplish will be done soon.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Stay safe out there.
Will do. And he hangs up.
I think that we're going to have to keep an eye on Kevin Cardwell directly. I think we're going to have to ask somebody to follow him. What are we going to exactly?
Yeah, currently you guys are already at the tower. You guys have been waiting there for a while, for some hours. Nothing has changed. So it seems it's still currently off, which is good.
Who are we waiting on?
We're waiting to see if the tower will reactivate while we're here.
I think I need to go find Kevin Cardwell.
I mean, we technically only need one person to wait, so.
Well, if anybody wants to come with me, I think that we're going to have to go now.
I do also suppose that Xander's crew could stay behind, too.
Yes, their job is to do just that. Now, I also will say, Xander, that if these things reset every 3 hours, every 3 days or 2 days or what have you, the exact amount of time has passed since the second tower has been cleansed that if it was automatic, it would have reset by now, and it has not. And this is give or take 4 or 5 hours. So,
Is there buildings around this thing?
there are. Some are occupied.
Maybe he doesn't need it to be up.
Well, I mean, can I be on the roof of an abandoned tower around it so I can take it out better?
Yeah, most definitely. You guys have had quite some time to stand here, so I assume in that time you probably would have already done that. You said you wanted to go see Kevin Gargoyle, go find him?
I feel I'm getting the vibe that maybe Reginald is getting impatient and wants to just go ahead and off him.
Okay.
That's what I think is going to happen. If anybody else does not get that vibe, we don't have to go.
No, works for me.
All right, are we all going as a group?
Yeah.
I want to watch my tower.
All right, excellent. Xander will stay behind and watch tower. And Redai, are you watching tower or coming with?
I suppose I should maybe come with.
All right. Realistically, Xander, you'll have about 5 or 6 people with you now, so pretty much covered. And as our group heads outward, we have a general idea of where he is. His presence is quite public after all. But at this point, he's most likely working in one of his many offices. We'll say that you heard somewhere down the grapevine that he is in, rather than the tall building he was in last time, the one that was empty, of course. He's in more one of the boots on the ground. But as the day is indeed rolling down, he's most likely going to abandon said location and head home. But if you're going to catch him, it's going to be somewhere there.
Sure. Sounds good.
I don't want to catch him at all.
Well, we want to follow?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I think that catching up with him would mean that whatever action Reginald might take would be a different one than what he's currently planning. So I want to lay low and follow Kevin Cardwell in case something happens.
Perfect. You swing by the area, and you know that they're going to be officially closing. This is one of the more prominent offices. Smaller, but most public folk know about it. You know they're going to close in about 10 minutes. You scope the area. You see his car. Same one that you saw him in the morning with when you met him at the coffee shop. As your group is hanging around and waiting, you notice that they do indeed plan to close at exactly 8. In fact, you see him heading to the front door and kind of shaking the hands of everyone that worked with him, and they're all headed outward. He wishes them all a good night. You guys are far enough that you can just barely overhear. He's pretty loud, so not too worried to hear what's going on. And you guys can overhear what's happening as one person heads off, next person heads off, next person heads off, and he turns around to lock the location. He puts his hands on his hips and kind of gives the old up and down look over, nods, and you see him walking over to his vehicle to drive back home.
Okay. Do we see anything?
As you guys are
Okay.
looking around, you guys have had plenty of time to watch. You notice, particularly Roxanne, something stirring in the shadows near the building. Something large.
That would be my territory.
You can't see the full scope of whatever this is, but the second he walked outside the building, you saw it move.
I'll mention it. Do we want to interrupt or let it follow? I mean, I assume this is kind of a busy locale for it to attack, right?
Let's follow the follower.
All right, so we're just hanging back and watching.
Yep.
All right,
Ready to step in, though.
perfect. As you guys are indeed ready to step in, and you're watching, he waits for everybody to leave the area first. He's kind of fiddling around his vehicle for a moment. It seems his security team is no longer with him. This is his actual vehicle. It's an SUV. He's going to be driving home. He wishes his security team a good night. They might follow him anyway, but they're supposed to leave now. So they're waiting for an extra moment. He kind of jokes about something as he heads into the car. About 5 or so minutes after that, you've seen this shadowy figure move about a few times. It's very clearly staring at Kevin. The second he starts his car up, you hear it whir to life. A moment after that, you see the shadows suddenly become thinner as light, a burning light, begins to emanate from them.
I think we're a go.
I think we are a go.
I have a slightly dark question.
Okay.
Okay, potentially very dark.
Let him die? Question mark?
No.
Okay.
But could we let him get a little harassed into potentially being afraid enough to admit his son's wrongdoings? You know, like let this thing rough him up a bit and then come in to save the day? Or would that not work? 'Cause
Aren't they
he's-
made of fire, though?
He's in a car with gasoline, right?
He's in a car with...
And that thing's got fire.
I mean, I don't really
I
know
don't
if
know
car
if there's much of a
explosions work the
roughing up
way
a
they
bit.
do.
Hey, it was a suggestion. You guys are the smart ones to say why is a bad one.
I'm just
Bold of you
thinking
to
logic.
say we're smart.
It might be electric car. Is it an electric car or a gas car? Maybe we'll be okay.
Looks
He
like
knows
gas.
that he is these.
I think they make a different sound when they start up, right? Or no?
Yeah, it's gas.
All right, scrap my plan.
As I did, decide quickly. So you guys are
Yeah, let's go. I'll jump out.
okay. When you say go, what do you mean?
Well, we're going to intercept, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I think Roxanne's shadows should intercept first while the rest of us move in, because I think that they might move faster.
Yeah, they will. Sure, I'll send them on.
Okay. You're moving them in with the intent to do what?
Well, if
We'll
it's
stop what's
fire, can I
going
give
there.
them physical presence to block out the oxygen in the surrounding area?
Okay. Oh, so you're moving them to.
Yeah, like wrap the whatever is causing the fire in like a bubble.
Sure. Roll me go toe to toe.
This is my army. No, they're moving the shadows. I'll do that one too.
Alrighty. So we're moving in to basically try to put out the flames before they can do anything spicy.
I mean, if it's actually a demon, I'm sure that's impossible, but I'd like to severely hamper them. If not outright put them out.
Alrighty. Do you want that middle option or the bottom one?
I want it as is.
Alrighty. As he's starting up his car, you shoot in your shadow army quickly. It was watching, but they were watching it. You're able to react before it can see what you're doing. With a 12, you have a full success. So we're going to achieve our goal, which is temporarily stop it from whatever it was trying to do. They tackle this thing. And fortunately, because you were so prepared, they're also able to maybe get a hit or two in. You can't tell how effective it was from here, but you're getting the feeling as you're sensing through your shadows that this thing is larger than what you've been dealing with before. This entity is much larger, actually. And if it was trying to hide prior, it no longer is. Suddenly, as Kevin's getting ready to drive away, this thing no longer cares about trying to hide itself. And flames run down its wings, down its spine, and you can see its hair whipping in the wind. Its large horns grow upwards like coral. And it's now looking down at your group, and you can see that your shadows have been dispatched, Roxanne. It jumps up in the air. As it was kind of wrestling them off and trying to get them away, it did take a somewhat of a blow, but it then shoots like a beam of heat directly toward your person. Go ahead and roll me face danger.
And I have my guard for instances just like this. I'm not alone. Light sensitivity, yes.
Excellent. Alrighty, unfortunately, that is a fail. You're unable to react fast enough. Your shadow guard can't jump in. Make sure you manually mark attention for light sensitivity.
Already did.
Excellent. This beam of heat strikes you directly in the chest, Roxanne, knocking you back at least 10 feet. You take 3 total harm from this.
Ouch.
Indeed, this hurt a lot more than you were expecting, and instantly you're on the back foot. This demon, this entity, stands at full, and Radai, it's not attempting to hide itself. It is exactly the same as the one you saw from the very, very, very first session.
We don't recognize its face, right?
You can't see its face, but it does not look human at all. None of its body proportions or anything speak human. Kevin does not seem to notice this, and assuming that you're probably alone, Roxanne, the entity turns its attention away from you and begins charging up whatever it was doing again. Clearly more focused on this task. Radai and Moira, what you doing?
So, the shadows did not move fast enough, right?
Not to defend Roxanne now.
They did wound the creature, though.
Yes, they stopped it once, but it's just going to instantly do it again.
Alright, I'm going to see if I can fight him.
Just like run in and hit him?
I'll try and stop him from using his flamies, his flamios.
Okay, go and roll me the same thing. Go toe to toe.
Can I intercept and try to throw her a fire resist potion or something?
Sure.
Is it nighttime?
It is indeed nighttime. It's about 8. So streetlights are on and all that good stuff.
Whoa.
14, that's as high as you could have possibly rolled. Excellent.
Nice.
All right, are you trying to stop it from doing the fire bit?
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be the first option. What's your second option?
Can I give him a status?
You very much can. So you're physically moving in. You picked hard kicks and better and low light. So basically, you probably kicked up your wings and you fly in with a quick kick, which is indeed going to be in melee range, which is going to make things a little different for you. There would have been a status applied to that, but you roll a 14. It's literally so good. Not even to bother bringing it up. So you can indeed do damage, but you're going to get hit in return if you do.
You know what? I'll take it.
Okay. As you fly in, go ahead and roll me face danger. It's going to be a heat-oriented face danger. So Radaya, first roll me change the game using your potion concoctions. There we go. All right.
Oh.
Perfect.
Whoa.
So you can now use the tag fire resist. So as you were jumping in, go ahead and roll me face danger, Moira. The creature, as you jump in for a kick, you're in melee range. I'm going to apply an extra -1 to your roll, but I'm not making a tag for it. I'm just going to apply it after. But there is a tag on the demon. Alrighty, with this, you fly in, and once again, very similar to Roxanne's strike, you do indeed make purchase, Moira, but something tells you you didn't really harm it as much as you think you did. So the status strikes, but is reduced by 1 tier, similar to Roxanne's strike, and in frustration, it will just reach out and swing one of its absolutely massive forearms at you, Moira. It's going to catch you in the stomach and fling you in the opposite direction from Roxanne, clearly intending to separate you all. And this would have normally been 4 harm. It's going to be 3.
How many harm can I handle?
So effectively, the way the game works is the more harm you take, it actually goes up slower. So if you take 3 2 times, it's just 4, not 6. You take 3 again after that, it's still 4. You take 3 again, it's 5. It's very weird how it works. I've showed you before, but I don't expect you to remember the way it looks. I'll let you know if you're in danger of actually being like harmed.
Okay.
But you are smashed 3. You are out of the fight at 5, and you're dead at 6. If you want to keep fighting at 5, you let me know that. You don't necessarily have to be dead at 6, but something horrible might happen to you. You might lose access to one of your powers, a limb, something. You're basically sacrificing to say, I want to keep fighting, effectively. So it smashes the shit out of you. As it does, though, Moira, the demon slowly turns and makes eye contact with you, and rather than an expression of rage, it goes from frustration to confusion, almost as if it made a mistake, and you get crushed in this 1 second. You go hurtling into a building, and you just smash through a window. And yes.
Said like it made a mistake?
Yes. Sort of a shocked expression as its arm crashes into you. You feel that it maybe pulled back a little at the last second.
Is it possible I know this person?
Possibly, yes. It very much looked like a I know you expression.
I'm pretty sure we do. I'm just not entirely sure which one exactly.
I'm just not sure who.
You go.
Can I snap a picture of the building and send it to Roxanne and be like, all quiet over here?
Yes.
Bitch.
Oh shit! I forgot you weren't here.
Roxanne sends a video of me going flying.
Actually, I'm going
not all quiet here.
And I'm gonna do a help.
Get well soon.
All right, press F in the chat.
How far am I from this?
You're reasonably far away. It's gonna take a while to get here. You can use like your magic to like blast fly your way over, but it's gonna be a heartbeat. A long, very slow heartbeat. All right, so Roxanne, you went flying. Moira, you went flying. Radia, you just assisted Moira. Realistically, Radia, you're the only one in a decent position to do anything. And now the demon seems to be taking on the exact same position as before, this time very clearly frustrated, but a flaming aura begins to surround its body, and you can almost feel the heat from here, Moira. Fortunately, you're somewhat resistant to heat, so it's not that bad. And at this point, Kevin sort of notices at least something smash into a building from across the way. He started driving, pauses, and is just kind of staring at as if to say, did I just see that? And Radia, you see the demon charging something. Roxanne, as you're getting up, you can see it. You can definitely use magic to make your car fly over here, Xander. It'll just take a second. So realistically, Radia and Roxanne, what are you doing? More so, Radia.
Obviously, I want to stop it as well, but the how best?
It is a fire creature. We could use a shark tank or something similar.
Yes. What would put out fire faster? Big Doso Sharknado water tornado or a blizzardy ice storm?
It's all flavor.
I think the water would work faster though.
But what is the better flavor?
Would the water just sizzle and burn off, where the ice would have to melt and then sizzle and burn off?
I can't answer that. The dice will answer that. Whatever one you think looks cooler, you choose. If the dice fail, then that one was worse.
Obviously. Let's go with the giant ice tornado blizzard.
Sure. You're intending to basically turn off the flame aura?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead
Turn
and...
off, douse them, cool them down, whatever.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me change the game. So we haven't really done this before, but one of the options is give or reduce a status. This one will say can specifically reduce the status that the demon has of Flame Aura 3.
Oh yeah, I really only have one button here for this, don't I? Oh boy.
All right, unfortunate MC hard move it is. What was your magic? Remind me.
It was such a good idea.
It was.
Ice NATO blizzard storm.
Perfect. You're beginning to conjure up this effectively a tornado of ice. It's going to take an extra second, though, to really charge it up and accomplish precisely what you want, Radia, because you're feeling more and more of the heat from this distance. It's burning some of the, you're noticing, plants around you. It's getting incredibly hot. And you realize if you don't do this now, you might not get to do this in general. So you quickly release your spell. You definitely charged it enough, but you slightly misjudged precisely what you were trying to do. For some odd reason, the high heat and the cool, freezing cold instantly come together. This will, unfortunately, accomplish what the demon was attempting. Seeing that it's surrounded by cold, it will make a panic swing as it brings its two massive fists together, and it smashes the ceiling. It smashes the roof of this building. You can hear it crack and feel the shockwave from where all three of you currently are. Moira, you're able to get up. Roxanne, you're definitely already up and can potentially do something in a moment. But after it smashes into the ceiling, Radiah, this combination of elements, explodes. And with that, the demon smashes into the roof one more time, sending a gout of flame into the building. Kevin has recovered by this point, sees and feels the shockwave come from the building that he just exited not 10, 15 minutes ago. And looking shocked, he just kind of slams on the gas, and you can see his car beginning to peel out as he is attempting to leave, go the other direction. The building is filled with flames as parts of it begin to collapse into itself, and everything inside is burned to ash. You see the demon turn to look at Cardwell's vehicle.
Can I go after that guy again?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yes, when you say go after, do you just mean you're running in for a strike?
Something about the way that he looked shocked makes me want to try getting through to him. So I want to hit him.
Okay.
And then be like, yo, wake up.
Go for it. As go toe-to-toe. With this one, you will be using technically only one. So you have the negative on you. That is smash 3. The demon also has something called Flame Aura 3. Since they are equal, just use one of them. Alrighty. With this one, you can only choose one. You have an 8, which is a mixed success. So you can achieve your goal, which is you basically want to move in and say something?
Yeah.
All right. You're able to fly in. And you dodge the first initial blow, but you feel like something whatever it was, isn't necessarily in there. It's not really putting its back into it. So the demon swings at you, and you're able to, for a moment, you're sustaining the heat that is emanating from its body, and it's almost too much to bear from where you're standing. But what do you say, and what do you do now that you're this close?
I mean, they don't look familiar at all, right?
No, completely inhuman.
I can't figure out. Okay, I'm just like, hey, wake up! I know it's not you. Wake up!
It looks down at you, and from this entity, you can see that they are fully aware of what they are doing. There is life behind these eyes. They do not look controlled at all. Upon seeing that, do you say anything else?
Then why did they look shocked? Who do we know? Better not be James.
If
it's James, I'm going to be so mad.
As you're thinking this, and after you say that, the demon speaks in a very low, guttural voice. It sounds like just stones rolling up against each other. Licks of flame jump out of its mouth as it says, "Go now. Turn back. I do not want to hurt you."
Who talks like that? It can't have been James. I know that because he warned me.
Gale, right?
I don't think it's Gale.
You cannot tell. The voice isn't familiar. The way they speak is not familiar. There's a sense of familiarity from them. You get the sense of as if this form is, of course, obscuring who they are, and definitely their voice.
How big is the demon?
Like 8 feet tall.
Wait, is this the one that fell on the coffee shop?
Yep.
God.
What's my ETA over there?
You'll get here in like 1 or 2 more actions from them. You're zooming.
I just don't think it's Gale either. But who
Could be
else?
Marvin.
As you're considering this, Moira, they clearly do not wish to hurt you. So the option you're choosing of all 3 of those is you manage to achieve your goal. Normally, the entity would hit you back. Instead of striking you, they puke this magma, lava, I forgot the difference between the two, around your feet. And it's enough to basically lock you into place until you break free. You think it's going to be very hot, but it cools quickly. You're held in place as the demon, you two, Radiah and Roxanne, see it jump after Cardwell's vehicle. And as it jumps down, Moira, you hear it say, "Tonight is not his night."
Not his night. God, I think that Moira is very smart and that she might be able to figure this out. Is there anything I can do to narrow it down?
After Radiah and Roxanne, Yes, I would say go ahead and roll me investigate, but roll me with your specifically with your I can see weird shit Mothman tags. And definitely use discerning imagery when you do that. Radaya and Roxanne, you see the demon jump down toward the vehicle. What do you do?
I am not making another ice bomb.
Second time's a charm.
Maybe, but for her second time's charm, it'll be bigger.
Technically, Roxanne can assist you. I don't know how, but you could try.
Did I go
Yeah,
ahead
with
and
the snowstorm, I'm not sure.
You could hold it down a bit, slow it down with your shadow guard, then add that as a tag to Radaya's roll.
Sure. I'll have them all latch onto his legs, and while they hold him down, they're going to shout, "This isn't the way to do it."
Okay, and you want to ice it again, Radaya, or something else?
Yeah, I guess try that. But can I even use cast a spell again?
I will say yes. There's technically a rule saying you can't do the same exact action twice in a row. I'm fine with it because you personally don't have 50,000 spell tags, so you're okay. Roxanne,
Okay.
roll me first, though. Change the game with your shadow army that are going to assist Radaya. Alrighty, with a 9, we're going to create a power tag. It's going to burn after using. So, Radaya, roll your spell again. Go toe-to-toe, and I'll give you a +1 after your roll. Alrighty, so what you were trying to do here with the ice this time is, are you trying to remove that fire aura, or are you trying to slow him down? Or, like, stop him?
Let's try slow down stop this time. And
Okay.
maybe if it chills him down some too.
I think the fire aura might be better because that's what's making him hard to approach, right?
If you want to do that, it's perfectly fine. You have a status of 2, so you reduce the fire aura by 2. You can definitely do that if you want. It's going to instantly do something after.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
now it's only fire aura 1. You begin to surround this demon in ice, Radaya, and is looking around to see where the hell are you coming from? Like, who is casting ice magic? And as the fire aura this time, you can see it's beginning to die down a bit. The demon begins to run quickly towards the vehicle. Roxanne, your little shadow goons jump out and grab onto its wings, its arms, and he's smashing them left and right.
Did you just call them goons?
Yeah, shadow goons.
They're my friends.
Goons! Your shadow friends assemble, and with their assembled power of friendship, they jump onto the demon and slow it down for just a moment. It roars. After it does, it rips a few of them off, and they kind of shatter into dust like they do, but they're reborn moments later, as they are. Very, very convenient, that. And you can see, Radaya, this like ice wall, this ice NATO that you've surrounded it in, has slowed it down ever so slightly, but just enough to slow down the flame aura. Unfortunately, it's still going to be able to reach out for the vehicle, which it's going to do in a moment, but Moira is going to roll first.
Oh, and removing the fire aura should make it easier to see what's underneath, right?
So you can fully see this demon. It's just hot.
I knew this was going to happen. I
Alrighty.
knew I was going to roll bad.
Not the best. Definitely not the best. You focus. Make sure you mark experience, by the way, for disturbing imagery. And maybe you focus a bit too much. You see too much, Moira. An influx of information suddenly strikes you. You hear voices that seem familiar. You see faces that seem familiar. It's difficult to put anything together. And in this moment, you yourself are shocked. You can't control your body. There's so much information flowing into your brain right now. It's everything you can do just to stay standing and hold your consciousness still, which fortunately you're able to do. Unfortunately, the demon instantly reaches the back of Kevin Cardwell's SUV. Its massive nails rake both back tires as you see the vehicle begin to spin out. It stops, and rather than the demon continuing to strike at the vehicle, it stares burning hatred into Kevin's eyes, jumps into the air, and begins to fly into the night. Moira, you see a warning. You see something building up. You see various documents with names on them, and it's Kevin's name, but it's also other names. And you see these documents exchange hands left and right, and you hear a discussion, but the voices are muffled on both sides. One voice definitely feels feminine. The other, you wouldn't normally be able to place it, but you can tell this other voice is indeed Albright. And you can feel them discussing this whatever it is. And between the two of them, there is a vast amount of just rage and hatred towards whatever's on these papers. You can't make it out precisely, but you know it's bad. It's almost like a part of your brain, Moira, can read and see it, but you know if you unlock that portion of your brain, you yourself would just crack and fall away. So it's best to not look at that. But you know, this is some spicy information. You don't see either individual's face, but you can see like the outline of Reginald. And you see the outline of this other person as they finish discussing whatever this is with Reginald. They turn after having finished their conversation. They jump out a window, sprout wings, and fly off into the night.
It's a girl.
This other figure is feminine, yes.
Do I have any reason to believe that the person is the girl in the dream?
Yes, very much so. You get the feeling that they are very much connected. Almost as if you're seeing her memories in a way.
This feels like I have experienced this before, but I can't place it.
Roxanne and Radaya, you see the demon flying up into the night, but you notice Moira is just sort of repeating a word over and over and over. You can't really tell like what word it is because it's slurred. But she looks stunned or shocked or something bad has happened to Moira as the demon's flying away. What do the two of you do?
I slap her.
You slap me. It doesn't do anything.
Moira, come back to us.
Don't slap her. That's not the way you take somebody out. You give them your coat, cuddle them down, and rummages into bag and brings out a wake-up potion. Or some sort of bring you back.
Oh, I guess
Can
that works
I-
better.
Roxanne's seen
Can
too
I
many
ask a
cartoons.
question?
Yes.
So the free clue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have to know who this is, but I wasn't able to get it right.
Not from that roll because it was a failure. But if you want more information, I can would you want me to tell you who it is with that, or do you want me to give you a hint as to what they look like?
Can you tell me if they're on the player screen?
This is someone you've talked to before, yes.
Is it Isabel?
Do you focus on that thought while you're looking at this memory?
Am I almost there, by the way?
You'll be there in literally 2 seconds.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So as you're focusing, Moira, Roxanne, who's watched too much TV, does not slap you because that would just be a slap. And Radaya begins to kind of pull you out of whatever this is. And she can hear you sort of mumbling to yourself, I can see it, I can see it, I can see it, I can see it, just over and over and over and over and over. It's more clear now. And you indeed do see, as you're kind of replaying this same memory in your mind, Moira, over and over and over, and this blurry image of this individual begins to clear. And you can see she has dark, wild red hair that's whipping in the wind. Her face is a blur, but after a while it comes into view, into play, and you can see that she has yellow, glowing eyes. And it is indeed Isabel.
Yeah.
She turns away from Reginald and she jumps off into the night.
So she destroyed her own
Dark
sword?
sense. She destroyed her own.
Willingly or accidentally?
She wants to be there. She's in control of her body, not like the rest of them are.
Do I
Maybe,
happen
maybe
to
not.
see her flying away?
But what does she have to do with Reginald Albright?
As you're coming in, Xander, you do indeed see something that was very bright for a moment, but is now fading as it's flying off into the distance. But you know your friends are down there, mainly because you can see a building that's on fire, and Kevin's vehicle is just completely spun to shit, and he's still just shocked, like, what?
Can I try tailing it?
You can try to follow the demon.
Yes.
You can most definitely do that. Go ahead and roll me sneak. You're sneaking in your car, so realistically, you'd use whatever magic tag you have.
Pretty much like imagine my car, but it's like I like made magic stuff around it, so it looks like a hybrid jet.
Nice. As Xander continues to fly off. Ooh. All right, we get a 6. Unfortunately, not enough. But, Xander, as you're chasing after it, we'll go ahead and resolve your roll quickly. This entity was very well aware of its surroundings. And before you can get too close to track it properly, you can see it turns, and it looks directly at you. You see 2 burning golden eyes. And as you do, they quickly jet off to the side, then the other side, almost as if it's rapidly dashing to the left and to the right, far too fast, honestly. Far, far too fast. And as you track it to the left one final time, it doesn't move off to the right, but it also doesn't continue left. And you're driving and taking different angles. Maybe you're trying to like light the way with some of your magic, and it seemingly has vanished. You completely lost it.
I tried.
And looking back, Moira, you're back with us, Radiah, after you've done the deed. Moira's looking much better. She snapped back to our reality.
I'm definitely probably still looking pretty traumatized.
The
That
visions.
disturbing imagery.
Yeah, part of it was stuff you did not want to say, and it was if you could like imagine what something you can't normally see would look like, your brain's still basically trying to process it. It didn't make any sense. It was almost like the vision was forced upon you rather than something you control.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the frustration is like, what did I see? Like, was there something more to it? And just running through it is probably what's causing so much pause. But the three of you are here. Kevin is in his vehicle and hasn't seemed to notice you all. The building is burning, and in the distance, you can hear a fire truck approaching.
What would damage his image right here, right now?
When you say damage his image, what are you trying to do exactly?
I mean, is he just sitting there or is he running away?
He's probably going to get out of his car in a second because he can't drive. I guess while you're thinking about it, he hits the gas a couple times, and the back two wheels are not wheels anymore. So the car just drags forward a bit. So he's probably about to get out to look at it.
I'm trying to figure out if we can take a picture to give him some bad publicity.
I mean, I have a lot of information that I could release about him.
Ooh.
You know?
I think at this point we kind of need to tear him down. We need to beat Reginald to the punch.
Yeah. Because he still needs to face justice.
Exactly.
And I guess while you're thinking about that, he does indeed get out of the car. He scopes out the damage from the back, and he's just looking at it like, damn, what the hell? And by this point, Xander, you can park your vehicle somewhere where it's not too obvious that it was flying. So no weird questions from people that shouldn't say.
Sorry, we did call 911 in the flaming building, right?
They're already on the way. Someone nearby must have called.
I don't think we had to do that explosion. I think somebody in there would have heard that.
Yeah,
Seen
they're
That
that.
is good point.
already on the way. In fact, they're closing in, so what do y'all do?
Oh, we probably shouldn't be here. Let's skedaddle.
Somebody's going to have to help me. I think I'm probably still pretty traumatized, so.
Sure, I'll help you. Come on, Moira, get up. What's wrong with you?
You have not seen the things that I have just seen.
I'm gonna tractor beam everybody into my car.
That works. You arrive just in time to basically pick everybody up. And we'll say when you do that, Dragon jumps off of Radiah and jumps onto the front of the vehicle, kind of where you normally have like the Jaguar or something, and he's just posing there.
Sorry
Thank God.
for being a little late. I see you guys were fighting a demon.
Yeah, it was that same fire demon that Radiah described that attacked her neighbor.
You mean the big one that we've been hunting?
Yeah, that's the one.
Mhm.
I'm assuming it didn't go well.
Mm-mm.
Does it look like it?
Do you know where it went?
That way, and I'll point.
Do you know who it is?
When Myra's ready to talk, she probably might have an idea. I don't know, but she saw have her in this state.
I just I cover my eyes and I'm like, yeah, I know who it is.
You do? Who is it?
I'm like,
Let's get you some coffee or something. Let's.
I was
I'll
like,
open up the
please,
shop or something.
please. I make it ice.
From the booster jet all the way to the coffee shop.
From where you guys are now, it doesn't take any more than 10 or so minutes to actually get there, especially because, we don't have to deal with traffic.
That said, though, I will be like, it's Isabel. I don't know how she's connected, but I know that it's her.
You're telling me the bloody goth girl detonated her own shop?
What it looks like.
Time to do research.
I think that this traumatizing experience of the disturbing imagery would push me so far into like a research hole that I would barely be able to resurface.
I'll pull you out with dumb questions. Don't worry.
I want to immediately start looking into it, though, to see if I can find a connection.
Hey, Moira, how do you spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
Super.
We're getting there.
Callie? I don't know.
You know the rest, right?
Yeah, you know it. You already said it aloud. You're fine.
I see you're not that far deep into research because I pulled you out of it.
Can I investigate though? I guess.
Yes, while we are sort of relaxing here at Radia's, you guys definitely have time to yourselves now. What precisely are you investigating?
I want to find any connection on paper between Isabel and Reginald.
I'm trying to think if you have an avenue to even figure this out. You probably do. It's going to take a good chunk of the night. So with your normal investigation tags, go ahead and roll that.
I was gonna say, like, look, you think I'm sleeping anytime soon?
Nah, definitely
With
not.
those horrors in my mind? Damn.
The coffee's going, keeping warm, big pot. I'll just keep refreshing it as you go through it with snacks.
You actually like slip in some melatonin so I can get some sleep.
Now there is a thought. I could slide some vanilla and lavender in there and just drift you off to sleep.
Ooh.
Make some chamomile, lavender, vanilla. Just turn off the caffeine. Put in decaf. You won't notice.
Alrighty, so with a 5, that is indeed a failure. What I'm going to do, Moira, is we'll say because you're so burnt out is the wrong word, but a lot has been happening. I'm going to take the asking questions tag, and for now, we're going to burn it.
Okay.
And you won't be able to unburn it tonight. It'll take another day to mess with. But essentially, you're so overwhelmed that maybe you go down the wrong path or two. I can still give you some information. A little bit, at least. So
Okay.
you find, at least on the surface level, that realistically, if you're looking for like a familial link, there is nothing, at least on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing, at least from the outside, there's really nothing that specifically connects Isabel Kittner to Reginald Albright. Nothing specifically, at least. You can tell that the company that was holding onto her, I guess, various loans that she had to take. I did mention her shop was not doing very well. She did owe a lot of money. Part of it was the thugs we've already dealt with, but you also notice that she borrowed money from another company that currently is just no longer around. It just keeps dead ending over and over and over. And this is the original company that effectively gave her, from what you can see, Moira, and you can see other folk mention the same name of this company, that they were offered a good deal up front, but there's some weird lawyer bullshit hiding in there somewhere that effectively just said, we can change the rates whenever we wish. Of course, it was buried in legal speech, so you would need a fairly competent lawyer to find it. In fact, Moira, usually folk do not try to hide it in this way or phrase deals in this way, mainly because it looks kind of sketchy, but it's one of those deals where you read it and go, there's no way. They wouldn't actually follow through with this. But unfortunately, you're led to believe, at least based on the reviews for this now non-existent company, that they did, which would have caused her to owe quite a bit. Especially with the business she was running, there's no way she could have made enough money to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, that's really the only new information you can gather from that. Other than that, for the night, we all get, 3 of us get relatively solid rest, I would say. Is there anything in particular you guys want to do? I did lower Moira and Roxanne's harm by 1. We are busy, but we're able to relax a little. So is there anything in particular that Radia, Xander, and Roxanne want to do, either at the night or in the morning?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. We can just roll over to the next day then. And by this point, would we have all stayed up late investigating, or did we like turn in early, except for Moira?
I went to go hang out with my brother.
He sounds really cool.
He is.
With all that, it is indeed a new day. Of course, all the news is currently talking about is the recently blown up building. Wonderful. Cardwell is not currently taking questions. As you mentioned before, Moira, this is now the second building that was specifically his, that was targeted. Now, you notice the people on the news are starting to kind of worry. They have questions. Do you have ties to the mob? They're asking really basic shit. Did you owe someone money? He's unanswering currently. It is boilerplate answers, which are basically, there are no illegal connections. This was a freak accident of some nature.
You know what they say. 3 times is a pattern. There's only 2
And
though.
squeaky clean usually means there's something dirty underneath.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And then in terms of what we have planned for today, what would we like to look into?
Well, I think I need a rest.
I think we should find Isabel.
Yes. Does Radiah have contact info?
You'll have some explaining to do.
You have her number. You also have her
I
apartment.
probably do. You've also been to her apartment.
Actually, I do have her number.
Is that the apartment I broke into?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure all 3 of you snuck in there. I stayed back because I want no part of that.
I vaguely remember that.
Can I send her a text?
You can. What are you sending her?
I'm like, I've seen the horrors. Want to talk?
Hey, nice bumping into you yesterday.
Yeah.
You wanna catch up?
And then I send a laughing emoji.
The initial response is just question marks saying, who is this?
I mean, you can tell her to meet at my shop.
I send a little newspaper emoji.
Okay. That is enough. She responds with, oh, yes. Moira. Sorry, what horrors? Are you doing okay? Do you need help?
Fire emoji.
Yeah, I send fire emoji.
She says, were you caught in the blast from last night? What's going on?
You could say it was in my arms. Yeah.
She takes longer to
I'm not-
respond than you're expecting, and all she says is, well, I hope you're staying safe.
No, I think I'll have to. I feel like we'll have to talk to her. She knows how to not leave a trail, clearly.
Yes.
And she knew at the time who I was, so there's no way. Look,
Wait, did she know it was you?
yeah.
Or
She said
did you
she
have your
didn't-
Mothman face on?
No, she said I don't want to hurt you, and she looked really shocked when she saw me. So she knows. I'm gonna go ahead and text. You know what? This conversation never happened. And then, what are you doing at 5?
Definitely a confused response initially. It just kind of like one of those, okay. At 5, nothing special, but why?
Can we meet?
Sure, where?
I'll say Radiah's shop.
Okay. She has agreed to meet at Radiah's shop at 5. For the morning, we just kind of spend time texting and gathering ourselves and things of that nature. And Xander, you don't get a call this time. You get another text just saying, dude, we're really sorry, sir. The second tower reset. We don't even know when it happened.
They're all fired.
How did they miss it?
What happens when I leave my post?
So they didn't say they missed it.
I fell
Oh.
asleep.
No, they didn't fall asleep.
No,
Fortunately.
they said they don't know how it happened.
They don't know how it happened, but they did see something happen. And the last thing I'll leave you with is all they saw, Xander, was the tower, the room specifically, became blurry, as if they're looking at it through multiple panes of glass that haven't been cleaned. And like it was vibrating, suddenly it came back into vision, clear, and once again, protected by a field of magic.
As in time we wound.
We wounded, yes.